Welcome back, everybody. We are continuing the Ace Combat 7 playthrough here. I did take a moment to look to see how Ace Combat 7 was linked into the Ace Combat universe. It seems this is a direct sequel to Ace Combat 6, which I just don't remember. And so, if I have been missing some callbacks or, cool references, I'm just now learning about that. I'll tell you, I'm more interested in the story now that we're not in a penal colony, but still, the fact that we've got that wingman who's a liar and a cheat and, just generally a hooligan, why couldn't Wiseman, the guy who played Wiseman, why couldn't that character have been our wingman? And whatever happened to the female who, was the original impetus for the story, or maybe just the original storyteller? Where did she go? I hope they're coming back to that, but who knows? Okay, we are continuing. Here we go. Yeah, okay, good. They're going to explain it.
As far as the chaos we find ourselves in these days,
satellites.
It's difficult to say which side pulled the trigger first. Erusia deployed an automatic intercept system with drones. Osea implemented long-range attacks to bypass them. So Erusia decided to sabotage Osea's communications and navigation technology. Erusia couldn't launch a satellite themselves, but they were still able to hack the software of the Osean transmission and navigation systems. Before Osea even noticed, half of their satellites were hijacked. That's when things got ugly. In an attempt to knock out each other's capabilities, both forces launched fighters loaded with anti-satellite missiles at the same time. Only military satellites were targeted. However, their destruction created a debris field in orbit, which wiped out scores of other satellites.
Yeah, totally.
Both private and government-owned.
Real problem.
What kept the world relatively sane up to that point had been free-flowing data and information. But now, those were gone. All that remained was chaos and confusion. Government and civilian broadcasts and transmissions were cut off. The flow of information had ceased. Forces on both sides of the conflict now found themselves unable to communicate with their superiors. Many of the smaller countries annexed by Erusia and yearning for their independence seized the opportunity and started their own uprisings. As for why some of Osea's military decided to break off from the main force and continue on their own, I have no idea. Perhaps there was some sort of dispute over the chain of command. The continent that had once seen wars that were only fought between Osea and Erusia was now full of numerous conflicts between rival leaders vying for power.
Dang it.
Insurgencies were everywhere. I even heard a rumor that a group of Osean convicts had rebelled.
Hey!
Rumors. It never ceased to amaze me that even at a crazy time like this, something as trivial as a rumor could find its way here. Communications from corporate were cut off. Apparently, the entire computer network was down. It was a wise decision to make our drones autonomous with AI instead of being radio-controlled. Wise and forward-thinking. Even with their GPS offline, they can still use their sensors to navigate as long as they're working properly. I'm sure the drones are still working perfectly, following their mission orders to the letter. I wish I could upload Mihai's new data to them. But without a connection, I can't upload the software to the active drones. The new ones we're making, though, there should still be enough time to upgrade those before they're activated. I'll be taking the data I've acquired away from the front lines now. Oh, and I'll be taking the girls, too.
Creeper.
I told my assistant Masa it was time to get Mihai's granddaughters ready to leave here. She's not much older than the girls, but she has a way about her, and I'm sure she won't have any trouble with them.
Absolute creeper.
I saw a plane flying off in the distance. I imagine it was looking for a safer place. The plane had a rose emblem on it.
Okay.
Erusia's communication networks have been down since their satellites were destroyed. Unfortunately, we are experiencing trouble too. All of Usia has been affected, and we don't know when things will be back up and running. We're not even sure if this is Erusia's doing. Still, we will follow the strategy that was originally planned, and move on to the next operation after liberating Farbanti. Let's get to it. Since the war began, we've been receiving communications in secret from an officer in the Erusian army. With the capital under our control,
Whoa.
Erusia's radical element is losing support quickly, affecting the balance of power. HQ is thinking of using the military officer as a way to gain leverage to settle peace negotiations. The officer is currently hiding in the outskirts of Anchorhead Bay, having joined up with support dispatched from the Osean army. The plan is that they'll take a standard vehicle to a rendezvous point at a harbor in the east part of the city, where a helicopter will be waiting. I would like the new Strider Squadron to provide escort for the officer. Cyclops will remain at the base on standby to serve as defense. With the communication network currently down in the capital, I very much doubt Erusia will be able to mount a regimented counterattack. However, it is likely that Erusia's intelligence department and the remaining forces who are aware of the officer's movements will interfere. Keep a close eye on the officer and make sure he stays safe. Our victory in Farbanti has given us a golden opportunity to finally end this war. Be safe out there. Take note that our satellite-based IFF has become unreliable following the recent communications failure. As such, target ID will be done by processing the images from the infrared cameras on your aircraft. Objects will initially appear as unknown on your HUDs, but will be ID'd once you close in on them for a set period of time.
I don't know if that was supposed to be different people talking, like there were like 2 or 3 different people giving that briefing, or if the audio mixing was just terrible, but you know, I've made fun of the voice acting a lot here, but that was the first time that like the audio mixing during these briefings was like was that the same guy just having had different takes with like different filters added to it or what? I don't know. All right, cloud cover, few clouds, sky conditions sunny. Protect the officer. Looks like, where are we on the aircraft tree these days? What do we got? Nope, just 198, so I already unlocked the F-15. That's good. Air-to-air missile, pulse laser. I don't need any of that. And we got the Typhoon. Yeah, I don't think I need much of that right now. Let's see here. I guess I can't remember if I unlocked the F-15 on the last recording or not. I had started to try this mission, and the recording was glitchy. It was like the gameplay was glitchy. It was weird. It was one of the things that made me question whether to actually do a commentary playthrough of this. So if you hadn't seen that I had unlocked the F-15C, I have, and yeah, I've already got parts equipped to it. Let's see what we've got here. I went with Queen's Custom and then a bunch of regular missile boosters. Special missile lock-on speed, self-defense jammer, just to reduce their homing capabilities. And so, yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Strider Squadron, you're cleared to taxi.
It's already a lot smoother than it was before, because it was on that little filter sweep thing right there that it was like, not a slideshow, but
This is Captain Carl of the Osean Army. Are you here for the
maybe 5 frames.
I was expecting.
5.
Are you really friendlies? Over.
This is Longcaster. Airborne warning and control system for the Osean Long-Range Strategic Strike strike group. Captain Carl, they're on our side.
And those two pilots we've heard about must be here too.
Okay, I hope you're right.
It was maybe 5
Broadcaster,
frames
all of these
per
screaming
second.
unknowns? It's a state of civil war. The Erusian army is fighting itself. There's no guarantee the Oseans won't shoot us in this confusion.
We'll image process the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend or foe.
Right, so
The
we just
process will be faster if you get a close-up, well-centered image.
Meanwhile, we just run if they shoot us, right?
Affirmative. Always identify your target
boy,
before you
okay,
fire.
so they gotta be right in front of me.
Something I'll never get used to. Tonight has been a
Allies.
total shock.
ID'd as Osean forces.
Can't
This is
see
AWACS for the
them.
LRSSG.
Our info has been updated.
The city under martial law. Gunfire and the roar of jets echoing through the streets.
Give me Strider Squadron's IDs. Oh, and hand me that sandwich. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
Okay, so that's friendly. That's friendly. What's this one?
Friendly hello in front. I'm a patriot and my duty is calling. Nice work, Leos 2. That's a confirmed kill. You are a true patriot.
Who is this?
Entering the Anchorhead Bay area. Buildings will block your line of sight. Make sure to keep track of your objective.
Ally.
How this war ends depends on this mission. I'm counting on you. Understood.
Strider Squadron.
Ally.
Identify the unknowns along the route.
I'm trying, man.
The radio. We don't know our location. Give us orders.
We have no orders, but we do have ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Roger that. We'll look for our way home.
Which faction is the head of our organization? Take us on the front.
I'm not used to it turning red that late.
Target acquired.
Okay, these are bad guy attacks.
Box 2. Target hit. Target destroyed.
There you go.
Fire from our own ally. Is this place under the
Where is he? Where is he? Of course, I can't see him very well down where he is. Naturally. Yep, not at all. Great.
What's wrong with drones? Whether you're a patriot or not, you're just too stubborn to change with the times.
It's Erusian.
They aren't responding aggressively.
General, if they're conservatives, they'll listen to us.
Gun confirmed destroyed.
The negotiations were a success, Lancaster. They've opened up a path for us. The more the merrier.
Trigger has destroyed the target.
He's still missing. It's a little stall between friends, you know?
Be on the lookout for enemy ambushes.
This is a message to all of you fighting out there. Ask yourselves, what is best for our country?
Made it through the Anchorhead Bay area.
Like a surprising number of allies out here. I'm
We're taking the coastal highway at the next ramp.
a little bit concerned. You should not be broadcasting your path via the radio.
There's a strict curfew. Gathering lost in the access to what's going on.
It is not machines that make the decisions anymore. It's people. Understand that.
It's miraculous how they seem to know whether I'm friend or foe pretty quickly.
There's an unknown on our route. We can't proceed.
On it. I'm working on it.
Made that in my sight. Lock on.
Trigger, enemy has a lock on you.
I mean, what else is new, man? This is like...
General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General Labarre are the real patriots. Onward.
We got... Oh, gosh. Another ally. Man, I am
There's a vehicle up ahead.
struggling not to just blast all these guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's go. We've shot. When the communication networks come back online.
We need to remind everyone that there's no such thing as a clean war.
least one of them. All right, where is our little Jeep bud?
Vehicle blocking the road. No response to hails. This is radicals. It's no good. There's still a car on the road.
Oh no.
Just to be safe, we better avoid the highway and head for the warehouse district. Lancaster, we're taking a detour.
Of course.
Strider 1, General's route has changed. Keep your eyes on his vehicle. Don't let him out of your sight.
You guys got to stop saying the route over the radio. Like, that is basic operational security.
This is a wide net they've cast. They really don't
Oh.
want the war to end, do they?
I should have.
They've been set up in all the right places.
Never did actually verify it yet.
Leading our country even further into ruin.
We have some enemies coming up behind us. They're gaining on us. We changed our route, but the enemy's still on us.
My engine's been hit. I'm surrounded by nothing but friendly. No, the attack was an unintentional mistake.
Is it? Yeah, can I just assume that they're bad guys if they're chasing you at this
Strider
point?
1, target destroyed.
There you go. I didn't need to use 2 missiles on that, Sam. Teach him what I think of his missiles.
Fox 3.
They actually believe that using robots will put an end to bloodshed.
This is kind of a pretty
We're almost at landfill number
pretty
7.
map here.
If we can make it through, we'll be in arm's reach of the rendezvous at Grunder Park.
Dude!
Captain Carl, do you have the means to record this conversation? I wish to explain to you the situation inside Erusia. I'm sure the boys listening upstairs will record it. The open declaration of war, expanding the front lines, was all the work of some young Erusian officers. They were referred to as the radicals, but there was an unseen force guiding them. It was technology they borrowed from the Belkas. When they actually went to war, the performance of the attack drones exceeded their wildest dreams. And they were incredibly clean, which got public opinion and the opportunists within the military on their side. They even manipulated the princess. The Belkan technology advanced UAV research within the Erusian Flight Test Center by at least 10 years. They used the flight data from a former ace pilot to create drone AI, but to us it's no different than magic or alchemy.
Had to do it.
Airplanes are meant to be flown by human beings. Those of you listening in, am I wrong?
Dude, just drive.
Towards Grunder Park. Rendezvous point is a helipad on this man-made island. We'll ditch the car and take the helicopter from there.
Just drive, man. I don't care. I don't care if the planes are flown.
There are rumors of a military group calling itself the Free Erusians. An unknown is blocking our scheduled route.
No response. I've got a bad feeling.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky.
Watch your chaff and flare supply. Target acquired. Vehicle eliminated.
Missile in the air! Quick, now!
Breaking. Enemy has a lock.
Open fire on that vehicle.
I would consider it a personal favor if you would not.
Target eliminated.
Try to help us before we get shot. It's not like this is a tank or anything.
Captain Carl, we have a new rendezvous point. New coordinates are as follows. 263 Tango 4, 1999 Delta Lima.
Now you start using code.
Rescue team says hostiles are making the area too dangerous.
Well, yeah, don't they know nowhere is safe?
Oh man, that was a ridiculous hit.
Power struggle within the Erusian military.
It's all gone to hell. Even radio chatters about the Civil War. Radio?
Expansion.
squadron. I've got it taped, nice and secure. We're about to cross Anchor Bridge. There'll be nowhere to hide.
That was something.
Bridge is being blocked off by a tank. This isn't good. An armored vehicle is behind us. It's a vehicle used by the Erusian forces. Take it out.
Trigger, our VIP is in trouble. Clear the way for it.
Oh,
Taking fire.
they stopped at the exact right place under that overpass. Come on now. Ooh, all right, good.
Ocean forces at landfill number 7. This is AWACS Lancaster.
The general is speaking with the commander.
Ceasefire with the Ocean aircraft. General's orders.
We've almost reached the container area. Watch out for enemy ambushes.
I don't even, I need to not even be worried about everything over there. I keep thinking that, but then I keep getting shot at, you know, so.
Forces in the center, south, and east struggle for stabilization of the nation. Hostile tanks are keeping the armored formation at Anchor Bay from protecting the VIP. Can you clear them out for us?
No problem.
The general's vehicle is under attack. Our VIP is taking fire.
We're under attack. Hurry up and do
I'm,
something.
man. Dude, bro.
We're the only ones here on our side.
Locked on target.
We made it somehow. Let's try to get off your ass a little faster next time. We're coming up on a tunnel. We'll need to split up until we reach the exit. There's more to Belka technology than just UAVs. The IFF designations for one was an astonishing feat. They used it to make drones that resembled Osean fighters, and then to assassinate Harley, put the blame on enemy fighters. But in the end, Belka technology only brought chaos to the world.
I can't believe Lucy is responsible for Harley's assassination.
You talking politics? That's new.
Can't ignore a story like that, right, Trigger?
It's Erusian. Shoot it down.
Target is eliminated.
Trigger, that one's Ocean.
You know what?
Do not attack before target identification is complete.
Open your eyes. Check 6. Bad news. Hostile armored forces outside of the tunnel. I'm thinking that we should go say hi before they ruin the general's day.
I can't shake it. Take out Denny in autonomous mode.
Why did I lose even the ability to lock onto that guy? That was weird.
Listen up. From here on out, all aircraft are prohibited from taking off.
Critical escort objective destroyed. Mission failed.
What?
Abort mission.
No, we gotta do that whole thing again. Please have been a checkpoint. Please have been a checkpoint.
Bad news. Hostile
Oh,
armored forces
thank,
outside of the tunnel.
thank
I'm thinking that we should go say hi
goodness.
before they ruin the general's day.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Its ID is Erusian.
The general's a real celebrity. Seems everyone wants to meet him.
Phew, gosh. That is frustrating, but not nearly as frustrating as all these bad guys. just being everywhere.
All aircraft are prohibited from taking off. We were nearly done for. I couldn't have asked for better timing.
Nice. Glad to see the Oceans attacking the radicals.
Maybe we should join up with them if it means getting rid of those assholes faster.
Drone is acting suspiciously. Shoot it down.
Regionalism is part of the infighting within these groups.
How's your life, Logitech? If you're great, then we're here to help.
We've reached the industrial zone. This should be the new rendezvous point. The coordinates are up ahead. Take out any enemies in the surrounding area.
Officers from countries annexed by Erusia have taken multiple groups and declared independence.
Glad we waited. Don't worry, we won't let it come through after you. Then we'll take back the city.
Almost at the rendezvous, with the rear to the others.
Understood.
Thank gosh, we finally got.
They shouldn't be taking responsibility for the capital's fall, but instead they're prolonging the war. That is why proper conservatives like myself are moving to regain control. If all goes well, we should be able to sign a truce with Osea quickly.
Missile away.
We've reached the rendezvous point. There's the chopper, too.
Who do we turn to in this darkest hour? We need a beacon of light to show us the way. This is the Erusian News Network.
Okay, let's go. Getting out of here. I've had just about enough of this place. I'd like to offer my thanks to the LRSSG. They should finally bring about a true end to the war.
Understood. Good luck.
There's still a lot of them flying around.
Multiple unidentified aircraft approaching.
Great.
This plane is carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
Ain't nobody believe that. Yeah, those
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer.
those were not pilots. Those were those round drone things.
Dr. Schroeder!
Whoa, whoa. There's a girl on board? He's not lying about carrying civilians. No, unless she's a soldier.
Where's the ally? Alright, still down there. Alright, we'll go investigate. And this is what we have to do during this particular mission. It's called the show of force. Where I'm from.
We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
Can I attack the other ones?
That's the aircraft my grandfather told me about. The one with the scratches.
There it is. The EASA liaison plane. They engage in witchcraft with belka technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Whoa.
Unknowns attacking the girl's plane.
Alma, hold on tight.
Longcaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
It could be Ocean fighters. ID them ASAP.
Shit.
That's all we can do.
ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp. Right. I'm shooting him down. Any complaints?
Granted.
Wilco.
Wilco.
Yeah, good work. Strider 1 has killed a bandit.
Strider 1, target acquired.
YF-23s. Black Widow.
I managed to catch a glimpse of the 3 strikes.
Don't miss.
Aim carefully.
9.
Fox 3.
No good. Taking enemy fire. I need to get away. Breaking.
Got a lot more high-performance missiles here. On the F-15. These SASMs, which I don't even recall what they are, seem to be fast and capable. Come on. There we go.
Nice kill.
All right.
Good work. All hostile aircraft eliminated. The liaison is safe. Wait.
The escort fighter is... The drive. They're missing the drive.
What the hell? You gotta be kidding me. Liaison escort has a radar lock. They're targeting you guys.
What the hell? We were just helping them.
Erusian aircraft, this is AWACS Lancaster. Do not engage the liaison. Break off now.
Can you hear me on this channel, OC craft? Those escort aircraft are drones.
Nailed it.
They are currently being operated autonomously. They are not being controlled by anyone. They are flying on their own volition.
So I can shoot him down.
In that case, we have no choice but to shoot the aircraft down.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, yes.
We did what we could. Weapons free. You are cleared to attack the escort.
Welcome. Understood.
Wilco.
Hey, it's not our fault they won't listen to reason. Why build something like that? Whoever did is the king of all dumbasses.
To build something else entirely.
Strider 1, Fox 3.
Can't abort the MQ-89's launch. Our commands are overridden. They must be accessing it remotely. Shield is behind this.
I'm on my target's tail.
Additional hostiles inbound. Great timing.
Son of a bitch.
Hostile confirmed destroyed.
The escort must have used its remote activation rights to gain more allies. Clever.
Clever girl. Jurassic Park reference there, of course. Whoops. There was one right there.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
There we go. And you right there. Perfect. And that one. And we'll get you yet. And I don't even mind the misses. The misses don't even make me sad. Yeah, I thought I was firing my special misses this whole time.
Locked on.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
It's really hard to do commentary playthrough like of something like this, even versus Valkyria Chronicles, which is, of course, still story-based, but they're just talking so much and so constantly.
Cargo is not struck. You're almost out of special weaponry.
Shh.
4 bandits left.
Almost out of special weaponry.
Target acquired.
It's just a challenge is all that is. Makes it interesting.
3 bandits to go. In gun range. 2 bandits left. Show them what you got.
Yeah. With 2 now. Now is the time to finally go ahead and take it seriously. I don't know. Those first 20. Those were the ones I was gonna try and, show them what I'm made of. But not anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
The game is running a lot better right now than when I first tried to play this.
Strider 1, that's what I like to see.
Whoops.
Another story
Bumped
to
the mic.
tell
Sorry
my
about
boy.
that. But,
Understood. All hostiles have been eliminated. Nice. General's helicopter is flying safely outside Anchorhead Bay. All aircraft, RTB, mission complete.
just don't understand the performance of this game.
Hostiles, huh?
General, the Ocean aircraft is here to pick us up. The approaching Ocean aircraft.
Losing his army? Elaborate. They stole our sealed orders. It should be a piece of cake.
Are you sent by the General Staff? No, we'd like you to send... I can't!
Oh.
There are 3 scratches.
What does that mean?
Alright. So they just killed the general, presumably.
In order to respond to the attack on the base, Cyclops has scrambled after being on standby. We'll head up too once our planes are ready. Oh, and Labarth is dead.
What did you say?
Apparently, he was shot down by another Ocean aircraft after he left the area of operations. I mean, I know it was chaos, but still. At any rate, the sealed order operation has come to a close. We have no idea about a plan for going forward.
All we can do for now is watch our own backs.
What's up with the commander?
He's staying in his room. He's still alive, since we can hear him crying.
All right. Hey, there she is.
The island we went to was supposed to have been secured by the ground forces. They hadn't gotten a handle on things by the time we got there, so now we were stuck in the middle of a half-assed campaign. My job was to get the planes ready for combat, making repairs and handing them over to our troop of cons. Thing is, the enemy still had the hangars. The comms were still down, so none of us knew what the hell was going on. The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit was that some prisoners from an Ocean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right. I wonder if any units like ours were out here, creeping around. Hearing the Ocean jets firing at each other overhead chipped away at morale. Since the radio was out, it was quiet. I liked it better that way. All I heard was the gunfire. Here we were, walking around carrying rifles. We were pilots, damn it. Friendly fire will probably kill us. You know things are desperate when the guards that used to lock us into solitary are now telling us it's better we all stick together. I guess they think our odds of surviving this war are better that way. After walking for miles across the battlefield, we came across the wreckage of a plane. Passenger, not military. I knew that rose. It was an Erusian liaison plane. The guard's dogs smelled something and took off. They led us to a cliff. And the bodies.
Today, I lost everything. When Osea attacked our capital, my father, a man who was never really suited to being the king, was killed. I was to be flown out of the war zone to safety, but the plane was shot down by rebels. The entire crew was killed in the crash. Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend. After all those speeches I gave about working together for peace, I thought everyone felt the same as I did. I'm sure the soldier who shot at me knew I was the Princess of Erusia. He was Erusian too. More soldiers have come. Now, there is no one left to protect me. I am so numb, I cannot move. I watch as one of their dogs approaches. It sniffs mournfully at my dead friend. I wonder if it grieves for him as much as I do. I can barely think. I feel weaker by the minute. I don't know who these soldiers are with, but I managed to take a sip of the water they gave me.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days. They gather around me with grim looks on their faces. What would they do if they knew I was the Erusian princess?
They liked you in the prison. They liked your radio.
After searching the cockpit of the plane, the woman who spoke to me before came back to me.
This is an air-to-ground tactical radio.
It still works. I noticed she walked with a limp. She knelt down next to me and asked her companions to give me some food. And then, very softly, she said,
You see, I used to listen to your broadcasts, Your Royal Highness.
Just what did you see here?
Okay. Homeward.
Okay, enough talk. Your opinions have all been taken into consideration. Beyond the seizure of Forbanti, which is important, and supporting the Erusian officer. At this point, I just don't know what our strategy is, or what our mission will be. Radio communication is still patchy for both the military and civilians, so we're getting zip from Mission Command about our orders. Still, with countless Erusian forces in the area, it's too dangerous for us to stay around here waiting for a miracle. Now, regarding Count's suggestion to think about self-defense, I think we should make a break for Tyler Island. It was a large Osean base before the start of the war. Count says his previous squadron took part in an operation to seize control of the island. It has the only base that will get us to the space elevator without refueling. It's also a transport facility for supply ships that provide drones and ammo for arsenal birds. For the Osean forces that are looking to reclaim the space elevator, those are two great reasons in its favor. If everything went according to plan, the base may already be in Allied hands when we get there. Though based on what Count told me about the island operation, it won't be easy to seize control.
If the ground troops have managed to open the bridgehead, the transport route to Osea for supply ships should be available.
With so much at stake, I can't imagine Erusia just giving it up without a fight. Things could really have gone bad.
Even if there are enemies left, they should be pretty easy to suppress.
I just want to go home, man.
Me too.
With that look on your face, Trigger, I know exactly what you want to do.
If Trigger's ready to kick ass, then so am I.
Damn straight. We're with you, Trigger.
It's decided then. Let's get all the aircraft and haul ass to Tyler Island. Although we can avoid the Arsenal Bird's anti-air network, there's still remnants from the Erusian forces. I want to get to the island without getting into any unnecessary combat. Pick a fast craft and fix it how you want. Pack for a long trip, but remember, if you drag your ass, you'll get left behind.
Okay, clouds. Sky condition clouds. Oof. But only scattered. Scattered wouldn't even be a ceiling in our understanding of aerospace. Ceiling you don't start to have happen until you hit broken. Anyway, okay. Is that right? I think that's right. I don't remember. Let's see what we can do with the aircraft tree. 68. No, don't have enough. F-35, YF-23. We'll get out there eventually. Alright, well, they said pick a fast craft. We'll go with the, No, you know what? I like those little missiles. I'm really happy with the F-15C right now. I think that's what I'm gonna roll. You know, I did not look closely enough at the briefing, though. Hang on. How many did... Well, it doesn't know, does it?
Okay,
I
enough talk.
don't need all
Your
of
opinions
that.
have
I
all-
just need this. Yeah, we don't know how many targets we're going to be dealing with. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Let's see what we can do in our F-15. What was that? Air-to-air lock-on missile. SASM. I like them. I like them whatever they are.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
Hey, you got it. You know, I like the story, you know. Planes are meant to be flown by people, not at 30 Gs.
Pursued by multiple tanks and APCs. They'll all go down if we don't pull back the landing craft. It's what? Abandoned Tango 2-3?
Something's not right.
Tango 2-3, we don't have the firepower to assist you. You're on your own. Please, we need help.
Wagtail is on the Ocean landing ship. What's going on? What did you say?
Multiple bogies inbound. Damn it. Prepare for anti-air combat.
Boy, we gotta be right on
This
them.
is the AWACS Lancaster. The aircrafts in your area belong to the LRSSG.
Allied aircraft. A retreating vehicle is taking fire. Requesting assistance.
Roger. ID complete.
Unknown successfully identified.
Thank God. Friendly birds.
We're under attack!
Update us on Tyler Island.
Couldn't be worse. Our forces are scattered and on the run.
They're on the run.
Shit. We were waiting for retreating units here to carry them out to safety.
Target acquired.
Do me a favor, Lancaster. Many of our allies are cut off. We need support and an escape route.
Understood. We'll do what we can. Let's help retreating Ocean forces. Take out any hostiles in their area. Don't engage till targets are ID'd.
The boots on the ground don't need more people shooting at them.
Thanks. It's absolute chaos out there. The Erusians are even starting to fight amongst themselves.
Well, now we know what's going on, but shit.
We just pulled in the best driver today. Our army can turn this thing around.
Calling friendly birds. Take out the hostiles in our area. Get us out of this hellhole. We need help while we're still up and running. There's more over here. The bodies of dead civilians. I don't think they were part of the fighting. With that, they're all lined up. No, we're not combatants. Some of them aren't even wearing shoes.
Oh, we made it. All right. I was trying to get that target right here.
Try to save your ammo. Lure them in and then fire at once.
Three strikes, count to three, and the enemy's gone.
Our last vehicle has been destroyed. Let's get out of here.
Let's get moving! Hit the gas and don't let up until we reach the extraction point! I don't want to see anyone, hostile or friendly!
They're Erusian. Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here? It's all crazy people.
Didn't mean to use 3. It's okay.
The men say they want to at least give the children a proper burial.
Take back the mass driver. The supply ship is a munitions depot. It's highly combustible. Rendezvous? You don't even know where we are.
Give me enemy position! Good job! The artillery fire's got a number on my hearing!
Don't pursue too deep. We just need to buy some time. On your back. Hold them at bay until operation feeding time. Move them away from the mass driver.
Our guys still got the enemy here for it. What do we do now? Send in the tank! Fire!
Allied retreat looks good. Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
Yeah, man, most of the time the enemy has a lock on me from somewhere. It's just a howitzer.
Identify the unknown targets.
XSAM, huh? You guys have no idea how much I'm not interested in your stuff.
We're taking fire from multiple enemy tanks!
Our tank commander's down! Taking fire! We're going down!
Target acquired. Target hit.
In the landing craft! Many thanks, Lancaster.
Well, where is it that I need to be? Oh, might have just taken out an ally or two right there.
Get the wounded out of here, hurry! If you let them through, we're as good as dead!
Yeah, I mean, pretty standard.
Fox 2.
You know, sick I am of these drones. Pretty darn sick. So, I mean, is my mission here really just, is it identify everybody? That's not
It's the Ocean military.
Don't they know they're on the same side?
We'll be firing at each other.
This is AWACS Longcaster. We're uploading the latest ID data. Check your TAC terminal.
Continue checks.
You guys got out alive. You have time to figure it out.
We're outnumbered, taking heavy losses. We can't even run. The enemy will shoot us in the back.
Wait, multiple bogeys from the east.
Their timing tells me they're not here to bring good news.
We need to ID the bogeys. Take them down if they're hostile.
Understood.
What I really need to do, just to be honest with you, I gotta get rid of these stamps. At least some of them. Sometimes. Oh boy. Alright, so we gotta head out east.
Strider Squadron, you're near an armada of bogeys. Identify them.
Trying. Ooh.
Visual.
Like an eagle.
Holy goodness.
Strider 1 is into the clouds.
Identification complete. It's Erusian bombers and their escorts.
Count's prophecy has come true. Take out all bombers. They'll flatten our allies.
Plenty of civilian casualties as well. Precision bombing is impossible in these conditions. Maybe they know they can't. We're gonna drop them all.
Target hit.
Where are the other fighter or the other bombers? I gotta worry about the ones that are close. Where?
The bombers are nearing the island. We're running out of time. Strider 1, Fox 3.
Behind my target.
Man, I'm come on now. I know that they have locks on me. I am keenly aware that they are been trying to shoot me.
Missile hit. Only half the bombers remain. We can't let even one get away.
I'm working on it.
More bombers approaching. Intercept them now.
One of these missiles hits me and it's over. Heaven forbid that it was just going to be a ground attack like I'd hoped. More bombers. Oh, those aren't even bombers. Oh, those are just targets on the ground, I see.
Target acquired. All enemy bombers have been destroyed. We did it. Continue with your mission.
Can we flank the enemy and strike them from behind?
Yeah, I know. Believe me. I'm aware that there is a missile behind me. Thank you.
Strider 1, man
Just gonna fly around with our hair on fire here. This is ridiculous. We're going coast to coast on this island. Absolutely sick of all of their stuff. I think I heard him talking about a railgun or something. Yeah. Happy that it seems like that little spat with the bombers resulted in all of the unknowns becoming knowns. Which, by golly, do I appreciate.
A landing ship is waiting for you.
Right. This will guarantee us a one-way ticket to hell. Pretty sure we're there already.
Yeah, I think one missile could have done that.
Hey, you. Dumbass with the scratches on his tail. You hear me?
Your mama.
I need you to help some people. There's a group of refugees surrounded by Russian tanks right here. Needless to say, their future's not looking too bright.
This is a secure military line. Who is this?
Me. You can call me the Scrap Queen.
Lancaster, she's an ally. Trigger and I'd know that voice anywhere.
So you're still breathing, Sir Count.
Here, let me have a word. Hey, it's been a while. I had a feeling the two of you were still alive. Remember, stick with Trigger and you'll make it.
We have a bit of intel for you. Share it if you can help those refugees. Count me in.
That's right.
We're moving out! Leave the cat behind! We'll come back to this island one day and send them off properly.
Strider 1, Fox 2.
Alright, now where?
Echo 13, all hostiles are down.
Understood. This is our last chance. We'll see how far we can go.
We've destroyed all of the targets. All bogies should be ID'd now. Mission complete. Okay, Scrap Queen. Send us the target coordinates.
I'm thinking about how I do that.
Don't you have a laser target indicator?
Why would she...
Use a smoke canister. And who's taking this to the enemy's doorstep? Not me. Wait, you moron! Wait! What are you doing, dumbass? Here! It's up right here!
Lancaster, we've confirmed the location of the flare.
That's them. All aircraft, we just updated your threat matrix via data link. Take out those targets.
Oh, thank goodness.
We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
Oh my gosh.
Hurry.
Ex-Sams, of course.
Target acquired.
Hey, job! The enemy tanks are... I don't think I could even do anything with that scrap.
Confirmed destroyed.
Why are you sing that song? Because everyone knows it. No other reason.
Target is in
Come on
machine
now.
gun range.
Ooh, that's not gonna be enough. Oh boy.
Hurry. Get moving.
What is it? Just one missile or one tank? All right, we got him.
That takes care of them. No civilian casualties? Nice going. Did you hear the singing?
Beginning terminal countdown. Pressure stable. Cooling system is on.
good.
But can it be trusted?
Not sure. Heard it from a man who said he wanted to atone for his sins. Up to you to trust him or not.
Understood. Good luck.
Releasing safety.
Are we all just ignoring this other conversation that's happening on the radio here?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. 1, 2, 3. The mass driver is accelerating.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver. If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about. We have no choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air defense network. You've got to hurry or you're not going to make it.
And thunderstorms.
3 minutes to the enemy's air defense network.
Where?
All aircraft, remain on high alert. We got bandits incoming on radar. You're gonna have to forget about it for now. Focus on destroying that supply ship first.
We're sitting ducks like this.
If we let the supply ship get too far away, we'll never be able to catch it. Target's using cloud cover to hide itself. Don't worry, we know where it's headed.
Careful, it's hard to maintain a lock in the clouds.
Woo! 4 missiles.
Explosion? Looks like that's one of them down.
Remember, there are 2 supply ships out there.
Whoa.
Shoot the other one down.
There are 2? Are you serious?
Supply ships are too far away. We'll never catch them at this rate.
I'm trying, man. Great.
We calculated the remaining time.
What?
90 seconds.
No! Got struck by lightning and just blasted straight into the ground, I guess. I don't even... It had better been a checkpoint. Yeah.
The supply ships
That was
a mass driver.
something.
If the supply ships make it to the Arsenal bird, they'll be able to resupply it. They may be loaded with new weaponry that we don't even know about.
Gosh.
Choice but to take down the supply ships before they can get within the Arsenal bird's air
I
defense
don't
network.
want to disabuse anybody of some misunderstandings, but planes get struck by
All
lightning.
aircraft, remain on high alert.
Like, it
Bandits
happens.
incoming on radar. You're gonna have to forget about them for now. Focus on destroying that supply ship first.
We're sitting ducks like this.
If the supply ship get too far away, we'll never be able to catch it.
Come on now. That is ridiculous.
Supply ship's in the clouds. Can't find it.
Supply ships are too far away. We'll never catch them at this rate.
Come on. It worked just fine before.
Did you see that explosion? Looks like that's one of them down.
Remember, there are 2 supply ships out there. Hurry up and shoot the other one down.
Than I expected.
Trigger, you're gonna lose it. Fly at full speed.
Dude. I'm gonna get struck by lightning and just blasted into the ground here.
90 seconds to the enemy's air defense network.
Don't lose them.
60 seconds remain. Strutter 1, Fox 3.
Which one first?
So try to follow after the supply ships. Stick close to trigger.
Ugh.
Hope you're all enjoying the pretty fireworks. If this thing had any windows, we could have seen it for ourselves. Nice work, team.
Ugh.
We're gonna find ourselves a boat and leave this island. We'll be taking the refugees, along with any deserters from the Russian military.
Who's the girl that ran into tanks with the smoke canister? A few more crazies like her, and life down there may have been a tad bit easier.
What do you think would have happened to those refugees if you hadn't intervened? The princess saw what happened. They were little kids.
I've lost my Horizon reference. There we go.
Those types of things.
Does this mean we're that much closer to ending the war?
No, we just basically prevented it from going on forever.
Count's right. We have no choice but to return to our original base. Our base that is nearly out of food and fuel. We need to do something.
Okay. Ugh, goodness gracious. you get struck by lightning.
Good. Take a seat. Everyone's here. All right. Good work in sinking the supply ships. Not to mention saving the refugees.
I mean, also.
However, we're in no position to start celebrating. Even the commander here is starting to fray from the stress. Can't say I blame him. Now, Tyler Island is in a state of complete anarchy. This base isn't safe either. The faces you see around you are the only friends we've got. Take a good look.
Okay. Bronze Ace. I got a fulcrum skin, I guess. Okay.
We found a boat, then sailed away from the island. We had to. We didn't belong there. The new guy's name was George. I noticed when the anarchist said his name, he said it with a thick Belkan accent. How did you know that he was from Belka?
Well, both my parents were from Belka, so...
You never told me that. They say that Belkans are known for their conspiracies.
That's just a stereotype. Now, I simply stated my honest opinion and was thrown in jail for it.
The princess sat there looking miserable. That was a dumbass stunt she pulled back there, but it got us on this boat. Take a look at that. This ship is heading for a single rope that's hanging down from the sky. Do you know how far the end of that rope reaches?
Outer space.
Yeah?
No. It is a direct connection to the very potential of mankind itself. Or at least it was until war erupted.
It's my strong belief that the rope might be connected to a very distant, faraway source of great conflict and strife. Even long before the war, the whole world started falling apart once Harling began trying to build it. I often wonder what was going through Harling's mind when he was trying to destroy the very thing that so many people were sacrificed in order to create.
Sacrificed? What do you mean?
Have you seen all of those countless old space shuttles on Tyler Island that are no longer in use?
Yeah. I always thought of them as a good source of scrap. They're an obsolete technology that was abandoned during the construction of the space elevator. Which would mean that if the space elevator was destroyed, it would be that much harder for mankind to reach the stars. Until we find another way.
But even then, Harling still went ahead and tried to destroy it. At the cost of his own life.
That's not the way I heard it. What I heard was that he sacrificed himself to protect the tower from an incoming missile.
Oh, I was told he tried to fly his ship into the tower in order to destroy it.
I wonder which story is true, Your Royal Highness.
I don't know. Looking at it objectively, it's reasonable to believe that Harling had both options before him.
When it comes to which one you think he took, I guess it's like a mirror.
Yes, it is. It's like a mirror looking into your own soul, based on whichever choice you believe it was. At the moment, though, I can only see darkness. I think that thing should be destroyed.
That's not gonna do any good. Interesting reflection there, though. Lost Kingdom is the mission. Gosh.
It's time for the briefing. Although, since we don't have any contact with HQ,
I'll try and remember my
it's not like this
thoughts.
is an official mission. Anyway, it looks like the seizure of Tyler Island and the relief from Osea have been postponed. In the meantime, we just have to do what we can to survive. Since losing its capital city of Ferbanti, Erusian forces have separated into smaller, autonomous factions. It looks like Erusia's largest force and leading faction will pass through the area around this base. The space elevator is significant to them, so they're probably heading there.
Should we intercept?
Why? I doubt they're gonna start a fight now.
Our top priority should be to get home. Let's go already.
Yeah. It's not like we have the supplies, power, or even a real reason to put up a fight. But what are we going to do if they bring the fight to us? We need to be ready to push them back. If we head inland from here towards Erusia, there's an old castle that's been converted into a stockpiling base. Shalaji Castle. It's currently occupied by some of the Erusian forces that broke off, but we need ammo and fuel. They appear to have converted a freeway into a runway, so we can expect them to have the capacity for air combat. But they'll be easier to handle than Erusia's lead faction. Well, we can't use all our aircraft to attack. The transport carrying the stolen supplies needs support. Okay, Strider Squadron. You head out first, and neuter the dogs at the stockpiling base. Rendezvous with Cyclops Squadron, who will bring the transport. Then we bring the supplies back to this base.
Got it.
Aircraft are our only threat.
Sounds good.
We'll make it. We're all gonna fly home. Together.
So obviously somebody's going to die in this mission with a statement like that. What I wanted to say before, okay, multiple things I need to address. I understand here that they have different people talking, and maybe they do have different people talking during these briefings now, which, so perhaps my comment about the volume mixing before, didn't make sense. Maybe it was different people talking and I just didn't get that. Also, the princess's reflection about the which story about Harling you choose to believe is a reflection of yourself is actually kind of good perspective with what's going on in society today. Do we believe the experts? People want to be contrarian about everything from masks to vaccinations to, just a lot of stuff going on in the United States, birth control and women's health, et cetera, et cetera. And, what you choose to believe is very much a reflection on you in those types of things. And so I actually found that insightful. That was great. Okay, air target, we've got 7. Ground targets, 36. Oh, well, 16 of them are my targets, so okay. Let's see what we can do. AA guns, tanks. They have had a lot of Apaches up trying to attack me. Let's see where we are. 873,000. So we can get the F-15E. Just better generally. Self-forging fragmentation munition. And a tactical laser system. I don't get what the benefit of all these lasers are going to be, because if it's just like a gun, it's hard to get them lined up with the rudder pedals where they are. And I mentioned that in the last one, so I won't complain about it again. And I am completely confident at this point, you guys seeing me working my way through the kind of U.S. air power here. Oh, in addition to the Typhoon, I do have the Typhoon. That, you got to get the Su-33 and 34 and this, that, and the other thing. And I just can't. So here, let's try this. Perhaps when that particular country is using its military for helpful things and it's under different leadership and whatnot, I will be more interested in the aircraft that make it famous. With the exception of the MiG-29, big fan of the MiG-29. That's from years ago, and luckily that aircraft is ubiquitous enough that pretty much everybody, has it available. Oh wow, I can actually do both of those if I want to. I don't want to right now, but we will use that. Vastly improved version of the double-seater F-15 bomber, nicknamed Strike Eagle. This durable aircraft combines fundamental air combat capabilities with more weaponry than a standard fighter. Huh. Okay. Do I want air-to-air or the bombs? Yeah, we'll try the bombs. Now parts. Cutting edge large flap enhances aircraft pitch stability. No. I think we're gonna once again beef up our regular missiles. Increase missile load limit. Standard missile reload time down. Homing capabilities up. Self-defense jammer. Queen's Custom. Slightly enhances aircraft acceleration, top speed, etc. And then we've got something else here. Superior maneuverability. I mean, it's not even that much. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay, let's give it a try.
Strider Squadron, aircraft prep complete. You're cleared to taxi.
Reggie. Shalage Castle.
No Osean forces are in the region ahead. No allies here. No need to ID your target. We've set a number of priority targets, focusing on their anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, team, get to work.
Roger.
Unidentified aircraft, not sure if friend or foe.
Joe Mama.
Fire anyway. We don't have time to be wondering if they're friendly or not.
Oh, this could be cool.
So, we capture this base and take the fuel and supplies. That's the plan, right, Trigger?
You take if you want to live. That's how it was where I grew up.
I was just double-checking mission orders, Hushin. Perfect Strider 1, destroy target.
Target acquired.
Does Soul Squad know? Our anti-air guns are destroyed. Abandon and fall back to our rear position.
Okay. So pretty. I will say that, like, the
They don't appear to be military.
scenery and everything is very pretty.
Must be fleeing since the conflict got worse.
So.
Unidentified aircraft. Identify at once or we'll open fire.
Okay.
What's he talking about? They already are firing on us. The enemy's confused. I know.
We're all out of ammo. Don't give up. We're not going to lose our country again.
Oops. I hit the wrong button to launch right there. My mistake.
Hurry up with takeoff preps. Our anti-aircraft weaponry is down by 30%. Why are they attacking this base?
So what's this faction split from the Erusian military? The autonomous state of Shalaji used to be a nation. The region has always leaned towards independence. Those who want to restore their homelands flock to it. Apparently, their core consists of officers from Vasilic, which neighbored Shalaji.
They're our enemy's enemy, but not our friends.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Okay. Oh, did we not get it? Come on now, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to have to be worrying about all these clouds and all this stuff. There we go.
The resistance is strong. They seem pretty desperate.
Just kind of get the impression these guys are going to end up being, you know, friendly somehow or something, you know. There we go. Okay.
They have 4 aircraft. 4 planes incoming. Fire more missiles.
Coming up on the castle. Let's hurry up and capture this base so we can get its fuel and supplies. Shit.
I feel like we're a group of burglars.
Don't say that. This is for our survival.
Yeah, I know.
Don't even worry about saying it. Say it again. Say it louder. We burgling.
They're here already. They've paid for what they did to our scouts. Take in both civilians and refugees without discrimination. Get away from the stone buildings and take shelter somewhere sturdier or underground. Drop where you are and cover your head if you hear jet engines.
Target destroyed by Strider 1.
Yeah, they're gonna be the group that's sheltering civilians. It sounds like, and we're the war criminals, busting in, capping everybody.
Fox 2. Vehicle confirmed destroyed.
We're not destroying any trucks.
Target is in machine gun range.
We're not taking all those out.
Our air defense capabilities are compromised. We've lost more than half of our forces. The battle won't last much longer. Let them have our lives. As long as our nation stands, the young will carry on.
Enemy on your back. I've been spiked.
The warehouse is filled with ammunition. Enemy got away.
Target locked.
Strider 1. Fox 2. New hostiles. All aircraft confirmed.
This town's of high cultural value. It's unfortunate we had to bomb it.
Okay.
To survive, right?
Not something I'll tell my son about.
AA destroyed. We're sitting ducks.
Locked on.
Cancel takeoff. Soul Squadron, stand by.
Negative. This battle's over if we can get up there. With hope of restoration. Don't worry. As long as we accelerate inside the tunnel, they won't be able to shoot us down that easily.
A tunnel, you say?
We're running out of ways to strike back.
Ooh, that was a good hit.
No, we gotta fire.
Target locked.
This is another one of those where I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fine. We're gonna take out these 3 other things. It's gonna be no big deal. And then of course it's gonna be like, actually,
3 interceptors are in the air.
space.
All right.
Getting to takeoff speed inside the tunnel is insane.
Soul Squadron, airborne. Shoot these bandits out of our skies. Good luck, Soul Squadron.
Understood.
Yeah, Soul Squadron. That's Mr. X.
Violation of Shalashi airspace. Turn around and we'll be forced to shoot you down.
Oh, sorry.
The OCN long-range strategic strike group. Land immediately and hand over your planes and base to us.
You must be the snowbirds. It's absurd for you talking so tough after losing one of the meetings at Levante. You bastard. You defile this country. As long as you're here, this country will never know peace. Shit.
Hey man, we friendly. Turns out I should have gone with some of those air-to-air missile things. All right. I bet there is a way to like bomb them as they're coming out of a tunnel. You know? If I could have had the bombs in the right place. Ah, come on. Alright, I just gotta get on one. Stay on them. And I feel like there was a specific command or control to do like unusually high, there we go, high G maneuvers that I have not used once in this game. Oh, both of those missed? I don't know. I don't know about that. Here we go. Oh. Come on now. If this is the Soul Squadron, we're gonna have to face Mr. X at some point here.
Don't underestimate them just because Mr. X isn't here.
Ah, there you go. Hey.
Watch your chaff and flare supply.
Yeah, I know they're gone. You do not have enough energy to dodge those. I don't care what you're flying. That's not how physics works. Yeah, you guys are pretty terrible. You should just land and give us your planes. Oh, great.
As expected, but a lucky shot would be boring.
Some kind of energy weapon. No, it's a railgun.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east.
YF-20. Oh, nope. Some sort of something. I don't know. Something.
High-speed projectile launch from enemy aircraft.
I'm testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky. We can still help you. Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I am not that person.
Go shoot him down. Should we go shoot him down just for fun?
Hey, look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Negative. It's no good. I can't get close enough.
Leave it to Trigger. The rest of us will just get going. Rest form a perimeter to catch whatever.
Hits.
Wilco. Might just cost us our lives.
Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Keep up the attack.
Targeting correction in progress.
Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of your pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then, to see if he's truly worthy.
Nah.
Someone to guide us. I can't think of anyone other than you. Being together with Nine taught me something. Drone fighters don't belong. They have no place in the cosmos of the skies. And they're what the Volsnigian Air Force should be fighting against. I think you can keep up with me.
That bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit. Keep firing those missiles until you blow him to pieces.
Hey, look. It's like the sky's been sliced wide open. The experimental unit probably made themselves a new toy. This weapon is not enough to take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it. There are pilots like you in every generation, and I've felt
Okay. You going vertical? Why is he keying up to talk to me about his missile launches? It's like, hey, just so you know, shot some stuff at you.
Mr. X moves like the drone I saw in Bulgurarest. Maybe you've got it backwards. Maybe the drone is the one that moves like Mr. X. Not bad.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
He's still flying, but his plane's been damaged. Finish him off, Trigger.
Oh, wow.
Strider 1 was shot down.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been continuously dodging those throughout. Well, hopefully we got a checkpoint here. I mean, I feel like I got like 6 or 8 hits on him there and just didn't do anything.
Testing this aircraft. You must find your own sky. We can still help you. Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore,
Yeah, I would have loved to have some of those hyperactive missiles. The bombs ultimately were not that big of a deal for me here. Okay, come on. Yeah, you keep spinning around, I keep spinning around.
Look at the color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Negative. It's no good. I can't get close enough.
A couple hits.
The rest of us will just get in the way. Rest form a perimeter to catch whatever slips through.
No. Yes, come get in the way. Somebody.
Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Keep up the attack. Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
that's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around you.
Yeah, you did actually just tell everybody to stay out of my way and create a perimeter.
I see. Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that. Let me test him then to see if he's truly worthy.
Yeah. No thanks, man.
Someone to guide us. I can't think of anyone other than you.
Oof. A little bit alarming. I'm sitting here amidst of this dogfight. Suddenly the door opens next to me. The cat has just pushed her way into the room. Squeaky door in the middle of playing the game. Always a little bit alarming. What on earth was that? 99% damage.
He's flying, but if he takes another hit, it's a miracle you're not in a million pieces.
System power at 50%.
I see activating that second. I should have changed how chaff and flares were activated.
120%.
Oh, no, dang it. Dang it. It sounds like he's going to end up breaking his own plane through, you know, whatever he's doing to it. You know, some sort of break got deactivated there. I don't even know what that means.
You must find your own sky. We can still help you. Don't waste your life. Dedicated to reclaiming that which you call home. Furthermore, you must find someone to guide you. I'm not that person. Yai. Hostile Gene Squad will be retreating.
How many tries? How many tries do we think here? This is number 3.
The color of that plane. Damn, that's the flames of hell. Time for payback.
Negative.
Misses.
No good. I can't get close enough.
Leave it to Trigger, and the rest of us will just get in the way. Rest form a perimeter to catch whatever slips through. Welcome. Might just cost us our lives.
Power at 50%.
Think you can keep up with me?
think I've even gotten a hit yet. Not getting any hits on him at this point. All these turns. And then he's just gonna go vertical or some crap. There we go. Couple of hits.
Hit on unidentified aircraft. The enemy's mobility is still unfazed. Should help the attack. Unidentified aircraft. Land your plane and surrender. Why do you feel the need to continue fighting on your own?
That's funny. It seems like one of the pilots is also fighting alone.
He's not alone. Look around.
We made it so far into this battle that first time before I got shot down by a missile.
Perhaps it would have been best to entrust the future to pilots like that.
I know you're just sitting in my blind spot. I know you're up there. Yeah. I'm not doing that with you, Mr. X. I'm going vertical. Nearly Mach 2 right here. Possibly over Mach 2. I forget exactly what the knots would be for Mach 2. Anyway, let's see here.
Its accuracy is increasing with each shot. Take it down as quickly as possible.
Trying, man.
That bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit. Keep firing at him. Blow him to pieces.
Manual targeting. It's going to be more accurate.
To take down 3 strikes. This aircraft is my body. If they are not enough, then I must put my soul into it. There are pilots like you in every generation, and I've felled every last one of them.
System power at 50%.
Fox 2.
In gun range.
Not bad. Get closer.
I don't want to.
His movements. I knew it. Mr. X moves like the drone I saw in Bulgurarest. Maybe you've got it backwards. Maybe the drone is the one that moves like Mr. X.
There's going to be copies of him flying around?
We'd be lucky if they're only in the dozens.
Come on. My gosh. Should have learned how to, what the button control is for those ridiculous, absolutely, completely impossible high G turns are.
Strider 1 scored another hit.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going down.
You got him. Trigger has splashed a bandit.
Can you hear me? Pilot with the 3 strikes. This was all due to my ego. I unleashed pure chaos upon this world, just so I could keep my wings. Put a stop to the drone production.
Is
Is this a message to Trigger? What does it mean?
I don't think this war is over just because we shot down Mr. X. Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely to end this thing. I just don't know what.
Interesting intake nozzle adjustments they have there. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, alright.
The resupply went well. We should be okay on food and fuel reserves for a little while at least. Luckily, the rumor that the Erusian army is advancing nearby is only a rumor. There's no sign of them from the skies.
Woot?
Rumors, rumors, rumors. This is what happens when you lose communications. But we got one good fact. The plane Trigger shot down was an advanced model of the XO2 Wyvern. It was developed in the last Continental War. Erusia had a lot up their sleeves. Apparently, they were even supposed to have Belkan aircraft back in the First War. What if Trigger couldn't shoot it down? Just thinking about it gives me chills. We're lucky to be here. In war, you never know what's lurking behind the curtains. But it looks like everything's loose now. A solid chain of command, rest periods after sorties, a battlefield where you know friend from foe. All of that's gone now, lost in a fog of confusion. Feels like a distant dream. Now, just how the hell are we gonna get out of this mess?
I don't know, man. You tell me. What are we gonna do?
When we got to the mainland, we found the space elevator's support facility. I guess this was the factory where they built the gigantic structure the elevator traveled in. There was this little girl sitting in front of a mural. When the princess saw her, she shuddered like she'd seen a ghost. The girl had a stuffed animal. This was the day after the shit went down at Tyler Island. She walked right up to the princess, took her hand, and led her into the factory. One thing's for sure, they knew each other. The factory had been converted to a production line for Erusian drones. It was fully automated and chugging along, making drone after drone after drone. Once they got inside, the princess stopped and just stood there. Another girl was there with a man in a lab coat. He was trying to use his keyboard, but she wouldn't let him. She took a data chip and threw it on the ground. Then she walked over to us and took the gun from the prison guard's holster. She pulled the trigger and destroyed the chip.
Nice. They were very trusting to let her have that gun and not kill her.
Later, I found out that the girl with the gun and the one with the stuffed animal were sisters. They were also the granddaughters of Mihai A. Shalaji, the legendary pilot. Gramps used to talk about him. He said Mihai was the top ace from 2 wars ago. Know any Belkans? Because this guy was a Belkan, and they love to stir shit up. Pitting nations against other nations is a particular favorite of theirs, along with developing hyper-advanced technology.
That's right. I'm Belkan, born and raised. My country is gone now. Rather than surrender to its enemy, Belka detonated 7 nuclear weapons on its own soil. My people scattered around the globe, living in the shadows of other countries. We had a new purpose. To breed wars.
The Illuminati.
The theory was that through war, we could achieve our destiny and our revenge. I had just finished inputting Mihai's data when his granddaughter came in. She destroyed the only copy I had of the information I squeezed out of him. The girl loved Mihai. No one knew more than her just how hard I pushed her grandfather for that data. How much I made him sacrifice in the process. I promised his granddaughters that his efforts were not in vain, that it could end this terrible war. But in the end, it only caused more chaos and despair. We were responsible for all this damage, all this tragedy. Now, we were going to pay for it. The Erusians, once our allies, would see to that. I had lost the drive to continue my work, even before I noticed Mihai's granddaughters eyeing me with suspicion that one day. I should have stopped then, for all our sakes. Mihai's granddaughter tossed the gun aside. She said if she resorted to killing, she'd just end up like the rest of us. And by us, she meant everyone, including the princess. Like me, the princess was afraid to look into the girl's eyes. She knew that by encouraging her people, she kept the war going. Mihai and his granddaughter were victims of it, and now, they too were paying the price.
Is this for Belka? Or for Erusea? My grandfather had only one wish, to continue soaring through the endless skies. That was the only place where he felt alive. But I don't even have a country to call home, let alone the sky. The Black Forest, the lake, they are no longer mine. Even though those lands were once cherished by my late mother. We have to learn to put that sense of nostalgia behind us and behave like mature adults.
My homeland. She's right. It feels so far away now. The woman with the rifle approached me. She was focused on more pressing issues.
I checked the computer. All of the data on the legendary Ace had already been installed.
No, I pulled it before it was completed. However, there are 2 aircraft that are already scheduled to be manufactured based on that data.
We must destroy the factory.
This isn't the only one. There are more facilities just like it, and the 2 planes containing the data will be manufactured at one of those facilities.
So, this place runs on solar power that the space elevator generates, right?
Ah.
How about the others? We can destroy the space elevator and cut the power to them. First things first, let's take this one out.
I'll show you which locations to target.
I stood there, thinking about that mural by the factory's entrance. Harling commissioned it to be painted. I realized that in the background, behind the dancing figures, the artist had painted several space elevators. I understand now. The space elevator wasn't designed to exploit Erusea after all.
Good. And afterwards, we'll bring down the space elevator itself. No matter why it was built. Right now, it's the root of this chaos.
I wonder.
Yes?
I wonder which path you would choose when looking at Harling's mirror.
You're asking the Belkin? Lighthouse.
Let's get the briefing started.
We've done enough air operations. Just let us go home.
There's no path for us to get home. Whatever direction you fly, it'll be right into a hail of enemy fire. Earlier, we received a communication via the partially restored general network. Here is what it contained. Apparently, the Erusian radicals have gathered around the space elevator, as it's a source of energy. Give the warmongers a powerful energy source, and you give them the luxury to keep on fighting. In response to this, people from both Osea and Erusea have joined forces, and will take down the final Arsenal bird in a saturation attack from the air and the sea. Once that's achieved, they'll take the space elevator from the aggressors.
Has the source been verified?
It could be fake. I hear you, but take a look at what's written at the end.
I like the music.
Hey, dumbass. If you want to bring the world back from the brink, go to the Lighthouse. can see the future.
Dumbass?
Sounds familiar.
Certainly does. It's from those guys we met in Tyler Island, the 444 Squadron. It's a message to all those looking to end the war, but I also think it's a message for Trigger.
Guess we'll do what it says.
Okay. Well then, I'm thinking we go roast that damn bird.
Looks like we're all on the same page. It's time to end this war.
Okay.
Time to fly, guys. Let's go get that arsenal bird.
Right, when I commented about that song, it got a little less interesting, but it was a pretty good bumpin' tune there at the beginning. Okay, 44 air targets. F-22s, all sorts of big bad guys. Let's see if we can unlock. I think even to get. Yeah, we don't even have enough points. Laser beam expander, thrust adjusting steering device. Oh, for missiles. Well, since we're entirely air to air this time, now I still. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and just work on getting these unlocks here. Yeah, quick. That's what I want to know. I have to do, yeah, I've got to do both of these. Acceleration and max speed up, as well as gun alignment to get me down here to the F-22, huh? Well, cool. Hypervelocity air-to-air missile. Yeah, I like the, oh boy, I actually liked the F-15C's, this thing, short-range aerial suppression. It'll explode even if it's not a direct hit. I actually might go into this with the F-15C. They have trouble hitting highly mobile ones. I mean, that's what I'm going to be dealing with. I'm going to use the F-15C here. Unless the Typhoon, long range, high capacity air-to-air missile. Fast loading air-to-air missiles. Because numerous missiles can be loaded at once, they are effective when used alongside regular missiles. No. Ramjet propulsion increases special missile flight distance. Oh, that could be good. Got a new emblem and a new nickname. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do this with the F-15C and its superior missile here. Parts. We got the general improvements. We've got proximity fuse. So missiles, general missiles, standard missiles they call them. Special missile power, special missile flight distance, special missile reload. Boy, I would love to have all of those. Yeah, I mean, I might just stick with this. I might already have, like, the loadout that I want to have here.
Strider Squadron, sortie ASAP.
Gosh. Lighthouse, take down the arsenal bird.
We need help. Don't let them damage more. Show them what the erosion, no, what fighter pilots are made of.
Yeah, so we've got Erusians and Oceans fighting here.
I owe you. No sweat.
Head into formation. We have the numbers.
Against the extremist bad guys.
Well, if it isn't the LRSSG, looks like our luck has turned. LRSSG, you will secure air superiority. There are Erusian aircraft in the Coalition, so they have been ID'd as friendly via the data link.
Just confirmed it.
The Erusian government aircraft, including drones, will show up as hostiles. You two aces, I'm thinking it's time to show us what you've got.
Nah.
We don't have 2 anymore. Guess nobody told them.
That's quite true, Count. It's not just 2. Wiseman trained his squad well. Everyone's still entered as an ace. He'd be proud of you all.
That's nice.
To all of you who have gathered here, regardless of your country, this is headquarters of the Ocean Army Southern Command. Wait, forget that designation. We are a coalition formed exclusively for the sole purpose of taking down the Arsenal bird. Wait until we're ready to strike the Arsenal bird in unison. Roger.
Speaking on an open channel. The enemy can hear everything he's saying.
Finally, they call it out.
Aircraft are in the coalition as well. This is Skull Squadron and Rigel Squadron of the Erusian Air Force. We're here on our own. Lancaster, we're entering your airspace.
This is C2. Papa Capasla are also moving toward it. So they want squadron, though. It's Mr. X's crew.
Count, ease up. Engagement is forbidden.
Don't worry, I know. We need every bird we can call upon. Even if they were flying with the guy that killed Wiseman. So their squadrons are in weird formations. They have manned aircraft moving UAVs and slave food. All this just to keep a war going. The movements are pretty sloppy, but there's a lot of them. One wrong move and you'll be surrounded.
Okay, 3 missiles on the 57.
I thought as much. Drones without leaders are slow as hell.
Two on the F-14. This YF-23 is probably going to be a 3-missiler.
Okay, commencing transmission. I'm speaking over both terrestrial broadcasting and video transmission networks. It's not important who I... No, are. First, our goals.
I don't...
Destroy the space elevator. Second, we want power to the drone factory cut in order to put a stop to all the war and chaos that its products cause. And last, we want to bring an end to this pointless war that has given rise to a state of anarchy. Let me tell you what's going on right now. The land is overrun with refugees who have lost their homes. This is no isolated incident. In spite of that, the war continues to rage overhead.
Missed. You can kill it. We can.
Rebels or what? They're rebels, but I'm sure it's more complicated than that. Rush up on current events later. Focus on the enemy.
Copy that.
There we go.
Take a look. See that line continue above the horizon? The cable goes up to the sky as far as the eye can see. Not many people know this, but the space elevator is the world's tallest transmission tower. Carrying its radio waves cover exactly half the globe. We've jacked up signal in order to reach out to you.
How many more do we need to take out?
Shoot them down one at a time. They'll run out eventually.
F-22. That's probably gonna need the old super speedy missile.
Structure down. This broadcast can only be transmitted to certain regions. If you can access the server, consider yourself lucky. You get to see a real live princess. Hey, Cosette, say hello to everyone. Yes.
You're taking away all their guns.
Yes. Let's open up the exit. Everyone get the refugees into the underground tunnel.
We got him.
Tabloid?
All right, understood.
Oof. Oh, 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 oh. I did not want to get lost in the clouds.
That's just one of those resistance traitors.
That was a determined missile right there. Ace Combat. He said the name.
Warning. Missiles launched from the arsenal bird. Everybody has projectiles. All aircraft, stay clear of the blast area.
Uh-oh.
10 seconds to impact.
There we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact.
How many got caught in that explosion?
Broadcaster, we have more incoming.
Unknown. Proceed with caution.
Wilco.
The 40-something bad guys here, if I remember right.
We can't switch off the security system, but we've got this. If what he said is true, this will give us at least 10 seconds. Cosette! Cosette! What the hell's wrong with you?
She's running.
Get back here! Grandpa, we have a problem. The princess went by herself into the maintenance area and has shut us out. No idea what got her going this time. Stupid woman.
Took a missile hit right there. Not what we want this early in the mission. Just go. Just go. Just go. There we go. All right, we're up.
5, 4, 3, 2. Helios arrived.
Oh, come on.
I said we were going to take down the space elevator, but it's not like we can just go out there and chop it down.
I mean,
Top of the windbreak, 6 location markers have been set in place. They monitor distortions in the space elevator. Those are the locations with its target. If the sensors go bad, the elevator's observation system will think the elevator has fallen. Until its safety can be confirmed, all microwaves will be stopped.
Oh, I get it. What a party.
I was going to do it myself. You dumbass.
Helios launched from the arsenal bird. 5 seconds. 3, 2, impact now.
oh boy. All right.
It's all over.
Yeah, plenty high, so I was way above those explosions. Oh, more of them. Great.
Helios arriving in 10 seconds. 5 seconds to arrival. 2, inbound.
And we got clouds moving in these areas.
Fox 2. 30 seconds remaining.
For what? To do what? Just take out the bad guys? Oh, okay. It was just a points. All right. We are way above the points we needed to be. I did not notice that during this whole time.
We'll use a saturation attack. Wait for the signal. Elevator 3, hostile to the lock.
Good.
Inform the coalition units. We're nearing 0 hour. 10 seconds until the united attack on the arsenal bird.
Well,
Incoming! 5, 4. Everybody, give this attack everything you've got. Open fire!
nice. It's got that shield every once in a while, right? Yeah. Yep, there it is.
All missiles were shot out of the sky. Attack failed. Cruise missiles did not reach their target.
Where's the railgun?
Lancaster warning all aircraft. I have multiple blips on my scope.
Yeah.
Here they come.
That's something.
Hey, look at the arsenal bird.
Lasers!
HQ, we have a problem. The damage to the Allied fleet is extensive.
That's some pretty impressive firepower. I, for one, did not see that coming.
The active protection system operates Another saturation attack. Air power. You'll slow the arsenal burn. Enemy on your 6.
Okay. Believe me, I know that they've got a lock on me. It's like, sorry.
It's ready and gets APS. All aircraft, break off from the arsenal burn.
That was close. I would have been a goner.
Cosette, that's not the control room. Go through the airlock and get on the maintenance elevator. Head to the top of the windbreak. Do you think you can put on that pressurized suit by yourself? You'll never get it on over those frills.
I'm getting sick of that arrogant bastard. Seriously.
No good. The engine control room is gone. You can get a radar room and
Nothing phases this thing.
80% damage. Oh gosh. Oh, we're good.
We can no longer commence with a second saturation attack. All aircraft separately engage in direct attacks.
HQ, it won't be easy to take down the arsenal burn with conventional weaponry. All the ace pilots in the world won't save us unless we have a plan.
Give us time. We'll see what we can do.
You're just thinking about it now? Cover any friendlies that's hit.
Sub-propeller confirmed destroyed. Target acquired. It's ready and gets APS.
Oh boy, we just barely made it out of there. Woo! That was close.
Light bulb shaped thing, but it isn't lit up. That's it. That's the location marker. You have it from there, right? Got it.
What aren't my targets on this thing? I mean, is that the real question? Ah, come on. Dang it.
When's that shield gonna lose power? Never. Elevator's continuously supplying it with power.
How?
What should we do? Calm down. I'll do something.
What are you gonna do? Cosette, smash it. Smash all 6 of the bastards.
Ooh.
It'll lose power.
Come on now.
Damn shield. Just go away. Be gone.
Count's gonna sacrifice himself. Classic Ace Combat thing.
Just what kind of magic did you work there, you asshole?
It wasn't magic. It's a scam. Now's our chance. Do it, Trigger.
The lights. Switch to the backup power supply. That means the main supply's been cut off.
I don't want.
Drones are acting crazy. Have you seen this? The drones are falling one after another. They've completely lost control.
Main propeller 1 confirmed stall. Good work, Trigger. Keep up the attack.
I can't just plan on the missiles missing me with 80% damage. They gon' get me. Yeah, we still didn't get it taken out. Boy. This low cloud cover here is really kind of a cool. Alright.
Main propellers have been stalled.
Pulse laser might become a target of mine at some point soon. We'll see. We'll see. Oof. No, those aren't gonna hit. There we go. Sub propeller.
Strider 1 has destroyed a sub-propeller.
You can do it. There's no way it isn't damaged.
Okay, good. Whew, all right. I thought that was a... Gonna have to take out that pulse laser. Somehow the pulse laser is gonna manage to keep it in the air. Oh boy, we took more damage right there. Come on. Dang it. Just gotta get some distance. I think I only need 2 more.
Trigger got a sub-propeller. You're getting the hang of this, Trigger.
It's gotta, I mean, is it still in the air? Is it just gliding? Is it gently gliding into the ground?
Propeller is moving again. Just how hard is that thing?
It's ridiculous.
Boils down to destroying the antenna's base. Say what? If we destroy the docking modules, the supply unit will break off from personal grid. That'll leave the antenna base vulnerable. Light it on fire, we can cook that burn down. Theoretically, that may prove impossible even for an experienced pilot. There will be a trouble.
Ooh, 96%.
Just an experienced pilot. Trigger, let's do
I did not.
If you're really that good of a pilot, I bet on it.
Joe Mama.
Besides, if you thought it was impossible, you wouldn't have said anything.
Look out! The drones are falling! Everyone calm down. You want to get yourself killed? George! Tabloid! Get back here! I can't leave the girl to die. Fine, fine! Get her, but be quick about it!
Is everything okay? The drones are acting odd.
Run! Run! Careful!
What was I supposed to do? What was it they were telling me to do here? I just want the engines, please. Oh, gosh.
Is everything okay?
Some people were crushed. But the kid Tabloid went after is safe. He ran that distance with a girl in his hands.
Good. What about Tabloid?
He,
Is he safe?
he did not make it.
George and the girl were saved. They were saved.
All aircraft, locate Strider 1's position. Let me slide in on that tail. There's a hit on the laser cannon. Trigger's hammering it.
So it is the laser. That's what I'm supposed to be shooting here. My plane is held together with hope at this point. We haven't even had maintenance for some duct tape. Oh, there we go. Finally. Boy, all right. So where was our checkpoint?
UAVs are dropping altitude fast. Wait, they're down.
The drones are acting crazy. Are you seeing this? The drones are falling one after another. They've completely lost control. That thing is too huge.
Don't let its sheer size freak you out.
I want that propeller, please.
Sub-propeller confirmed destroyed.
No. There you go. There you go. Okay, perfect.
We got these things, no problem.
Pulse laser. Gosh, finally. 47% damage. I mean, I don't have time to keep doing this.
Main propeller 1 confirmed stall. Good work, Trigger. Keep up the attack.
Okay. 85% damage. We're not gonna be able to do it. Not with this many little things flying around shooting at me, in addition to the big bad thing that I have to get up near and fly. Oh gosh, come on. Come on out.
Pulse laser cannon destroyed. That drops the arsenal burst threat level a little.
Don't let the UAVs distract you. The Arsenal bird is our priority.
I've got a hostile in my tail. Remember, our target is the Arsenal bird. Does he really think he can beat a human pilot?
Trigger got a sub-propeller.
Keep those UAVs off Strider 1.
No, gosh dang it. Going right under those clouds like that. You gotta fly fast because of all the drones, but you can't fly fast because then they gonna shoot you down. Or you're gonna crash into something.
Don't let them anywhere near him. Understood?
I want all of these anti-air missile launchers gone. Come on, there we go. Of course, they still weren't actually gone at all. Let's see if we can get in here and do that laser.
Both main propellers have been stalled.
You're getting the hang of this, Trigger.
Count, just sacrifice yourself, man. Alright, we all know it's coming. Just make it happen.
Propeller is moving again. Just how hard is that thing? It's time to destroy the Rectenna's base. Say what? If we destroy the docking modules, the supply unit will break off from Homeward. That'll make the Rectenna base vulnerable. Light on fire and we can cook that bird. Trigger integrate. That makes it impossible even for an experienced pilot. That would be a problem, but... Yeah, but our guy's more than just an experienced pilot. Trigger, let's do this
No.
There's a hit on the laser cannon. Trigger's hammering it.
Wasn't supposed to be the laser cannon. I wasn't even aiming for the laser cannon.
Don't let yourself be distracted. Just focus on what you need to do.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, after, what are we after? Okay.
Some people were crushed. But the kid
Where do we have to go to actually get to the hook?
ran that distance with a girl in his hand.
Underneath.
Good. What about Tabloid? Is he safe?
George and the girl were saved. They were saved.
Yes, I know. It's a terrible tragedy.
All targets have been destroyed. The supply unit is ready to fall off.
Good job.
You should be able to see the rectenna where the supply unit was. Destroy that, and even the mighty Arsenal bird is sure to feel it.
Good luck. Leave it to Trigger. Don't let us stop,
Come on. There we go. I am
Rectenna base unit confirmed destroyed.
done shooting at that thing.
Oh my god. The Arsenal bird is on fire.
Trigger, break off. Arsenal bird is losing altitude rapidly.
I just want to hit a checkpoint.
Lancaster, can you estimate the point of impact?
Don't worry, looks like it'll be open water. All aircraft, avoid the target's path.
That's the last of the rooms. Even in death, that thing is intimidating.
Don't know why I can't just look more clearly at it, but the screen is kind of shaking a little bit. That's pretty distracting.
Everyone, can you see this? These people here were alive up until a few moments ago. My friend was here.
Ugh.
Can you see this? This is just one of the many sides of war and what it does.
I can't even remember who Tabloid was.
All Erusian soldiers around the space elevator. If you surrender now, we will not attack. We can hold them off until support arrives. Our unit surrendered. You guys better not throw away your lives either.
Wait there, Princess. We'll get you down.
Don't worry about me. Please just take care of the refugees. I'll parachute down. What?
Warning, incoming bogey.
Are those the drones we saw at that factory?
I'm coming down. I'll see you on the ground.
No, wait!
Ooh.
Enemy on my 6. Those guys are bad news. Trigger, boss, do something.
Strider 2, missile inbound!
Missiles are just missiles.
What?
This isn't the time for that.
Cosette!
Avril, they're headed this way. Get the refugees to safety now.
Strider 2, you're hit. Are you alright?
Still breathing. I won't be flying much longer, though.
There's an Ocean carrier a few kilometers to the west. It ran aground and was abandoned. It won't be easy, but it's the only place you got.
Trigger, escort your wingman. Let's get to that carrier. That's all we can do.
So did he just crash into the princess? It's yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not doing that. You guys got this.
Well, if it isn't the LRSSG.
So no commentary, nothing to say here. We landed on a carrier, an abandoned carrier, mind you. Yeah, next mission. Okay.
Hell, I can't just snap my fingers and make a plane. Believe me, I wish I could. Right now, we needed one. Bad. When we were coming over on the boat, I remember seeing an aircraft carrier. That gave me an idea. The Admiral Anderson. The name of an old sailor. When the first drone started attacking, the ship wasn't ready for battle yet. It was still in the dock, getting all rigged up. so they rushed to get her ready. I know about Anderson. In the previous Ocean War, he was the commander of a ship that sent out the last fleet of jets. They say the deck was sloping so bad as it sank, the last plane barely made it off. Those fighters ended the war. That story gives me a little bit of hope, especially at a time like this. We're all in the same boat, like it or not. If this war keeps going on like it is, it'll be the end of everything. The military loaded this thing to the rafters with planes. Some were fighters that were going to be delivered to bases in occupied territory. It was hit before it could complete the mission. Jackpot. The hangars were loaded with goodies. This scrap queen's got work to do.
Okay, dark blue.
Trigger, everyone, listen up. The operation was a success. Erusian defense forces have been neutralized, and all Arsenal birds are down. However, those 2 new drones buzzing around have royally screwed up our plans. The Ocean and Erusian coalition's air forces are in a sorry state thanks to them. We might not even have any viable aircraft left. According to the Scrap Queen, the drones are trying to use the space elevator's transmission capabilities to send their data to drone manufacturing plants across the continent. They're trying to strengthen their numbers. What's worse, their data contains a depth of war experience, so the newer aircraft will be more tactically advanced. If that's the case, this war will never end.
Buh.
We need to take both drones down no matter what it takes. We'll do it so we have homes to go back to. Well, the Scrap Queen's on our side. She says she can make any aircraft fly. This is our final mission. Trigger, let's go. We've got a goddamn war to end.
I want a C-130. I want a C-130 Spectre gunship. It's gonna be great. All right, 2 air targets. That's what we're dealing with. We got some allies. We got some soul buddies. We got some bros. How we doing on our tech tree stuff here? We're not gonna have enough. 855. Yeah, we're still not gonna have enough to actually get the YF-23. Dang it. Yeah, so that'll leave us with 855. Yep. Okay. Is what it is, and I once again might take the F-15C for that quick missile. Yeah. Hyper capacity. Yeah, that's right. It's not long range. No. All right. Let's do this. F-15Cs again. Yeah, Typhoon. No. I did like the Typhoon, but it doesn't have the type of missile that I want here. I want that. Yeah, I want that. And that's what I want.
Strider Squadron, takeoff prep complete.
So this is basically fighting 2 Mr. X's at once. It seems. Hopefully not a bunch of extra bad guys suddenly coming out of nowhere, you know? F-15 straight off the carrier, no big deal.
Can I use this? Hey, can you hear me? That craft is in peak condition. I even buffed up the canopy for a nice shine, so you can really see the sky. Take care, Trigger. When you get back, let me know what you saw.
Let me see that. Trigger, wish I could have flown with you. A dinged up plane and an injured pilot would only slow you down. I feel for him now.
No, we're good. All right.
We've got quite a few Erusians with us. Seems they're sticking around, too. I don't care what country anyone's from. What counts is knowing who the real enemy is.
Commence mission. All aircraft follow trigger. Roger that.
I don't need you guys to follow me. I need you to distract them. Whoa.
Space elevator is able to broadcast and communicate. With the information infrastructure down, it's the only place capable of wide area data transmission. Drones are waiting for it to power up again.
Clever little bastards.
So you're telling me that it's going to be a while. There's some sort of time element going into something here.
All aircraft converge on Skull Squadron. Surround and shoot them down.
Strider 3, copy. Let's do it, Hushin.
UAV reacting. Damn, they're fast. All aircraft stay sharp. Intercept now.
Man, it's just impossible to hit them in that. These are the two planes I had unlocked, like through DLC or something when I bought this.
Salamander 3, Skull 2, lost. Damn it, that was
There we go. We got misses even with my good missiles. Come on now.
friendly lost. Another confirmed down. Damn it. The UAVs are equipped with laser weaponry. Watch where their nose is pointing.
Got it. Paying a lot of attention to their noses when I can't even see them. Come on now. We can maneuver, kill one of them up against the...
Target acquired.
I'm still unclear. Did the princess die?
I'm behind my target.
Was she exploded by the drones? Or by the missiles from the drones? There we got a hit.
Fox 2, Fox 2.
I'm gonna open this guy up.
Friendly lost. Salamander. Rigel 3 has been shot down. Lost another one.
Another hit. The only one getting through here.
Target hit.
Come on now.
Target hit. Damage confirmed. Those suckers are tough.
Yeah, I've hit it a bunch of times. I got a great spot right there.
Attention, all aircraft. Launch detected from UAV. They're small drones.
These guys have quite the bag of tricks.
Target acquired.
Shot down.
Guess we'll just start over again.
We've got quite a few Erusians with us. See if they're sticking around.
I really wish that on the retries they wouldn't play all of the radio stuff you've already heard.
Affirmative. I think everybody here knows the score. We all know who to follow. Commence mission.
All right, hugging. I know it's Hugin, but you're hugging me.
The space elevator is able to broadcast and communicate. With the information infrastructure down, it's the only place capable of wide area data transmission. Drones are waiting for it to power up again.
Clever little bastards.
Goal leader to Lancaster. UAV is confirmed in direction of travel. Engaging the bandits.
All aircraft converge on Skull Squadron. Surround and shoot them down.
Strider 3, copy. Let's do it, Hushin.
UAV reacting. Damn, they're fast. All aircraft stay sharp. Intercept now.
Damn it. I'll grab their attention. Kill the trigger to while I'm fighting. Goal 2, get out of there. This is Goal 2.
UAVs are equipped with laser weaponry. Watch where their nose is pointing. Strider 1, Fox 3.
Target is right in front of me.
Strider 1, enemy has a lock.
North the IFS. There are only 2 enemy aircraft.
Strider 3 launching missile.
Come here, you. I'm tired. Let's finish this. So that someday I can go to bed.
I'm on my target's tail.
Yeah. This is all scripted. It's those movements and them moving like that. That was. There's gonna have to be something story that happens, or they reach some sort of point where they stop fighting, or stop fighting as effectively.
Trigger scored a hit. We can do it. Aim well and shoot him down.
Good. The enemy is still flying normally, though. Keep pushing. The damage has to be adding up.
Should be muted, just like Mihai. They're like complete copies of Mihai. Received some serious upgrades. Seymour, we'll separate Human and Unit. Another hit. He's the only one getting anywhere out here.
Friendly lost. The Salamander. Rifle 3 has been shot down. Lost another one. Attention, all aircraft. Launch detected from UAV. They're small drones.
These guys have quite the bag of tricks.
I just don't want to deal with their little beam weapons and their literally impossible physics. Like they're not planes when they move like that. Like they're not flying relying on aerodynamic forces. Like they've got to be using magnetism maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure, but like it's they don't need wings when they're flying like that. Like they're not relying on the lift generated from their wings to do anything. Yeah, I know, and it'd be great if you guys could help me with some of them every once in a while. I don't even want to work on this one. It's the other one that I've been working on. Where'd he go? Hugan.
You want a piece of me? You got it.
Rifle 2, do not try to follow the drone. Stick with Strider's lane plane.
On the enemy's radar.
Target hit. Damage confirmed. Those suckers are tough.
I don't want.
Both drones are in attack position. Break, right now.
This one's wide open.
I want to keep going nearer to the pillar. Who just said bandit acquired? We got human bad guys here too? Where's Hugan? Hugan!
Strider 1, you have a UAV on your ass.
Strider 1, target acquired.
Got a hit. Come on now.
This one's mine.
Strider 1, hostile behind you.
Strider 1, break.
This is bad. I'm gonna be an easy target.
Check your six. All right, everyone. Regroup quickly while Trigger draws the drones away.
Story of my life, man. Enemies got locks. I got nothing. Holy cow, we finally got one of them.
Soul 2, evade! Evade!
Just like eyes.
Zone 2 lost.
Damn it! Damn it!
I'm still struggling with my buttons. I'm just trying to switch the weapon type, but I'm changing targets.
Strata 1, target acquired.
Missiles hit on UAV. Outstanding work, Trigger.
You cruised it. Don't stop now. No special weaponry remaining.
Great.
The combat zone is moving over to Selatapura. The mission is still a go.
No, no, no! Oh gosh. Whew. I'm just gonna fly the heck away from that stupid tower. And if they want to come shoot me down, they can come shoot me over here. Gosh, if anybody else could get a single hit on this thing, I would really appreciate it. I don't even want to take the time to shoot down their drones because they're just going to spawn more of them.
I'm on it. Crucian, assist count.
Wilco.
Target acquired. Strata 1, missile launched.
If you're lost, just follow Trigger. Copy? In the UAV's formation. This could be our chance.
I don't want the weapon UAV targets. I do wish that I had. I mean, I don't even know like what one of the other aircraft would do for me, like a YF-23 or 22. Like I'm turning as well as I would expect a plane to turn. Like I'm not going to lose this based on the aerodynamic abilities of the aircraft to turn. I'm gonna lose it from infinite range, constantly well aimed beam weapons that, I mean, beam weapons in real life, you think about how hard it is to hit just with a bullet. You know, you've got some drop off and whatnot, but man, beam weapons, combining in like the energy drain on the plane, it's a big deal. Alright. I'm starting to get hot in a way that normally means that I'm getting sick, so I need to wrap this up. That happened to me on stream at one point. I wasn't feeling, I just started to get really hot and I stopped streaming. And yeah, I ended up being fairly sick. But the point is just, you know, make sure that you pay attention to your body. Understand when, you know, what happens to you, for you, when you start not feeling well. Your body will give you signs. It's just a matter of identifying and then acting on them. I get really hot.
Why didn't that hit?
at it.
One of those little drones. Great. I don't want to be anywhere near that stupid tower.
Target locked.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Got this one down to my sights.
Missile. Missile.
Caution, enemy has a lock.
Missile.
Wasn't it smoking before? We just...
Trigger's missile hit. That one looks like it hurt. Trigger is
Oh
scored kill.
my gosh.
Hell
Is
yeah,
it
you
over?
finally did it. Way to shoot, Ace.
Oh, come on. Tell me this is a checkpoint.
Discarded its wings. What the? It's just like the UAV the Trigger shot down at Bucharest. Is that the prototype that Wiseman was talking about?
Guys, I would love it if one of you would avenge somebody here.
My son about living through this mission. What a day. Hold on a sec. Is it just me or is that thing trying to read Trigger's reactions? It's observing Strider 1. It's like it's trying to learn from him.
The UAV is stepping up a notch.
One target left. We can do this.
Locked on, you're mine.
Another fly like Trigger. Who's gonna shoot him down? Not to mention they can manufacture a whole lot of them too.
Strider 1, missile launched.
We've gotten too reliant on technology.
Targets in machine gun range.
Locked on bandit.
Warning, enemy has a beat on you.
I was really hoping that would be a
Finish it off, Trigger.
one-hitter quitter on this thing when you finally did manage to get a missile on it, you know? It just disregards all that.
Don't let the enemy sniff your butt.
What?
Strider 1, target acquired.
Oh my god.
He dodged it. Enemy has a lock. Evade. Strider 2, Fox 2.
What's next?
UAV is down. Radar signal is lost.
Start stopping. Showing a valid shot.
That was definitely the most intense thing I've ever been in. I can't wait to tell my son about
Is it over?
The space elevator is just powered up. Looks like we made it in just the nick of time. Fortunately, you've prevented data that may have included Trigger's flying style from leaking. I've got a special bottle of wine for occasions like this. What do you say we open it?
Just let me end. What is
Can you hear me? There's still one drone left.
Oh my god.
Who the hell is that? More importantly, I thought Trigger destroyed all the drones.
It's thrown away its wings, yet it's still flying. Can anyone hear me? That aircraft needs to be taken care of.
She's right. I see something on the radar. The UAV is alive and kicking.
The UAV went into the undersea tunnel. That tunnel leads to the space elevator.
Oh, come on.
You're gonna have to fly into the tunnel after the UAV.
Is there no door?
There's enough space for him to turn beneath the elevator.
That's a suicide mission.
Count, where are you going? We rely on Trigger too much. He's gonna need
Yep, this is when Trigger's the count's gonna finally do it.
problem with Trigger doing the same thing.
Trigger's different.
We'll see.
You damn fool.
I'm gonna do it like
I
this.
learned something from my last squadron.
I am not gonna feel bad
Stay
about
with
it.
Trigger, you'll make it.
I don't know, man.
Give me your status.
Alive.
Excellent. So you're both okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What makes you think that?
No time to explain. The radio will cut out soon. It'll take a short time for the drone to send over the data.
Yeah, why?
You need to
See,
destroy it as fast as you can.
There it is. UAV spotted. We finally found it.
why couldn't we have closed these doors?
I heard some static when the gate closed. Trigger's down.
Come on. You just gotta go through real super fast, huh? And the man, this is where you need the radio, the rudders.
Count, where are you going? We rely on Trigger too much. He's gonna need help.
You can't be serious, Count.
Yeah, well, you had no problem with Trigger doing the same thing.
Trigger's different.
We'll see.
You damn fool.
Perfect. Okay. I find, yeah. Whatever. All right.
Count, where are you going? We rely on Trigger too much. He's gonna need help.
Yes, you do. Count. Get in there.
Yeah, well, you had no problem with Trigger doing the same thing.
Trigger's different.
We'll see.
You damn fool.
Count. Give me your status.
Alive.
Excellent. So you're both okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What makes you think that?
No time to explain. The radio will cut out soon. It'll take a short time for the drone to send over the data.
There it is. UAV spotted. We finally found it. I heard some static when the gate closed. Do you think the UAV is operating the gates? Well, there goes our only way out. I thought we were gonna pull this off after making it through that maze. Don't worry. I'll think of something. I'll find us a way out. They're waiting for you outside. I'm not gonna let you drop here. No sign of the drone. Did it take another path? Doesn't matter. We know where it's going. We can catch it.
I'm not flying through here as fast as possible, man. I'm just not. I'm having to hold my controller in a very unusual way so that I have good rudder control here, and I am not. I'm just not. Okay, oh, alright. I gotta go through the middle.
Drone on your tail. Damn it! It got me. I'm hit. Shit. My wings seem fine, but I'm losing thrust. Is it my engine? Definitely feels like it's my engine. I'm fine. I can still fly. My rudder's acting up. It's hard to keep level.
Yeah, your rudder is important here, so
I'm not getting much thrust, but I'll be okay.
count. I don't care. Your imminent death here is not going to make me like you as a character at all. Sorry.
Uh-oh, that's quite the problem. Appears I can't get any more thrust. Drone is turning. We'll send its payload. Shoot it down, Trigger.
Oh gosh, of course.
It's down.
Did we get them all? No, we still got one more. There we go.
Yeah, baby. Hey, I'm being serious here.
I don't care.
That's right. We're going home. I thought of a way out of here. The space elevator. The windbreak
windbreak is hollow, and there's no ceiling all the way up. Not sure if my bird can handle it, though. Fly! I know you can make it! I'll attempt a belly landing. Get out of here! Everyone's waiting for you!
What am I supposed to do? Just up. Okay. Yeah, this is where you need the old thrust to weight ratio. It's a little bit.
Wait until I have less fuel, but I have no choice. Attempting to land. I don't think my plane will make it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Anyway, here goes.
You're gonna be fine. Good luck. And if you're not, I don't care.
Come on, baby, stay with me just a bit more.
Genuinely don't care. Come on now. I should have eased off the throttle. I mean, in real life, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna need full climb, full afterburner to just try and climb. Come on, checkpoint up.
Shoot it down, Trigger.
Stall warning.
It's down.
I'm gonna miss this one just based on time here because I got. Oh boy, that is frustrating. Get that over there. All right.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Hey, I'm being serious
I
here.
don't care.
That's right.
Count.
We're going home. I thought of a way out of here. The space elevator. The windbreak is hollow, and there's no ceiling all the way up. Not sure if my bird can handle it, though. Fly! I know you can make it! I'll attempt a belly landing.
Okay.
Get out of here! Everyone's waiting
Oh
for
my
you!
gosh, are we serious? Jeez. Trying to stay positive, you know. Trying to stay positive.
Into the middle column. That'll lead inside the windbreak. I wanted to wait until I had less fuel, but I have no choice. Attempting to land. I don't think my plane will make it.
I don't care.
Anyway, here goes.
I actually kind of hope that you don't make it. Yeah, see, we could not be going vertical like this through 17,000 feet at 500 knots.
Send in an evac team. We can't give up. We have to wait.
Can you hear me? We're all waiting. A world of darkness needs a light to shine.
I thought she died.
We're waiting for that beacon of light.
Look, it's Trigger. Strider 1 has returned to radar. I did it!
That's our Trigger.
He's a damn hero. Ha-ha!
No doubt. You're better than me.
We're Strider 2. Damn it. Does anyone have eyes on Count?
Wish y'all could have seen that.
You damn fool. What's your position?
Watching Trigger climb. I guess it's my fate to watch from down below.
Yeah, well, we're all in the same boat there.
Yeah, well, I guess we are.
We're sending help. Give us your coordinates.
Directly under the space elevator. Elevation is minus 500 meters.
Minus? Hey, Trigger. You dumbass. Tell me something. What color's the sky up there?
We're on our way back from our 7-year mission to the asteroid belt. I can't tell you how proud I am to be the first to land at
Wait,
this
what was that
spaceport.
transmission?
This is Captain Kay Nagase of the spaceship Pilgrim 1. The ocean of stars in our galaxy is finally within our reach. To the pilot who generously gave this spaceship a place to dock, we are forever grateful. The universe lies ahead of us, waiting to be discovered. And now, at last, we have a gateway to ascend to it, over and over again.
It's all coming together for me. Today was the day, the moment of her return.
I salute the pilot who gave us all a future.
To skies unknown, the path to mankind's vast future remains standing, Granddad. The refugees built the settlement for themselves at the base of the space elevator. A humanitarian mission from Yuktovania airdropped some supplies for them again today. Thanks to the princess, the whole world was pitching in to help these people. Handing out the relief supplies would have been a perfect gig for that anarchist dude. But since he's dead now, the job went to the guy from Belka, George. I guess Tabloid got that new system he wanted in the end.
Okay, so he was the anarchist. Okay. I didn't know his name because she just referred to him as the anarchist.
Mihai's granddaughters are helping out too. Mihai. That cranky old geezer's here with us too.
I never wanted to create anything, and now here I am, clinging to life. Watching as my grandchildren and their generation make a new future for themselves and the world. Is this my punishment then? All I do is lie here, wasting away. I'll never know the freedom of flying the open skies ever again. I've been grounded, and my wings have been clipped.
You know what having peace in the world means? It's being able to die in your own bed at a ripe old age. Peace is what those girls are working so hard for here. We got a bunch more refugees today. And the princess? She's looking to the stars. Dark blue, to the heavens and beyond.
Can you hear me?
So, God, where do you even start? I thought when the princess skydived off of the tower, there was an explosion. You know, like the Count was diving, and it looked like a missile had exploded near him, and the helmet that she was wearing went flying. I recognized that maybe that didn't kill her, but I don't know. And then same with Mihai. You know, Mihai is all sad about growing old. Dude, you shouldn't have ejected when you had your most recent incident, you know? You go down with the plane. Let's address some positive things first. The second half of the story, the last 2 episodes, I didn't hate everything. Like, we were done with the prison guard boss guy giving us solitary for everything. We were done being constantly reminded of our status as, you know, tomfoolery and shenanigans, you know, that sort of stuff. It became playable for me in the second half. And I'm reminded of a notorious game review for Final Fantasy 13. And it was through IGN, and it was by a guy named Ryan Clements. By the way, used to listen to Game Scoop a lot. It is still a podcast through IGN, but I listened to that, and I used to listen to their PlayStation podcast back when Greg Miller was still around there. Anyway, there's a famous review, infamous, by Ryan Clements for Final Fantasy 13, and he basically says the game is really fun 30 hours in, and he might have said 40 hours, that like it takes 40 hours for the game to get fun, but when it does get fun, it's worth it. Like, I got a similar feeling here. I mean, it took half the game for me to be able to listen to it. And that's just me, my old jaded self. But the reviews on this were not all positive. Like the story was nonsense. Like, that's to be expected with an Ace Combat game. Okay, we get it. You're gonna have a bonkers story, but you can have a coherent story with countries that are named things that are different enough that you're not just distracted the whole time. You can. Yeah, I just the whole story with the mechanic gal. I'm glad she came back at some point, but these games are developed in a very sexist way. It just is. It is what it is, and that she should have been the main character. So anyway, whatever, it is what it is. The flying, I struggled with the controls right up until the end there, and that might just have been, me not being used to the PlayStation controller like I used to be, and I probably needed the chaff and flares and stuff, assigned to a different button rather than pushing down on the two joysticks. But I probably could have fixed all that at some point. I don't know. I just didn't have enough points there at the end for, probably what would have been a more competitive aircraft. The F-15, the goal was not to beat that plane or that game with an F-15, You were supposed to have the F-35 or the F-22 or the Su-57 or something like that. And, I dabbled, I got the MiG-29, I got the Typhoon, I got the F-18, two versions of the F-15, and I just didn't end up with enough points. And, part of that is because of how poorly I did on some of those missions. This was a blind playthrough and not at all an attempted 100% playthrough. So, Top Gun Maverick came out not long ago, and, that story, that type of story, even with some fictional aircraft, even with some international tomfoolery, like that could have, that would be good. And there is a Top Gun pack, I'm aware of that, for skins and that sort of thing, but I didn't get that. Oh, what do we have? Oh, the final stuff here. We got 1.8 million research points now. I got a bunch of aircraft skins. I can change aircraft emblems. New aircraft has been unlocked. I get why people liked it. And if I was an aviation person who just hadn't had a good airplane game, I would have been able to ignore the story and the voice acting and the inconsistent radio terminology. Like, I am an expert in the field of aerospace. Like, I'm a pilot and a former air traffic controller. Just given my experience, I am an expert. It would have taken very little for them to talk to someone like me, even just to read their scripts, and be like, no, that's not how these things are said. That's not how this works. And I don't know what consultants they were working with or if there were any or what, but I get the impression that the people who were writing this bonkers story were also writing the scripts. And those are different skills, okay? The people who are writing the story and the overarching background and the world building and that sort of thing are different than the people who are, what does it sound like to clear a plane for takeoff under fire? What does it sound like when you've actually got combat going on? And unfortunately, by nature of them just vomiting story at us over the radio, the actual, professionalism of radio chatter maybe has to be ignored. I don't know. I'm going to uninstall this game and probably not think about it again, except maybe for a short or two. Who knows? I just really hope games are evolving as a medium. They are art. They are creative outlets for geniuses. And this was just a huge miss for me. This may have been someone else's ideal art, and I hope that they enjoyed it, if that is the case. But when you're going for photorealistic airplanes and, modern and near future combat, you have to assume that a large portion, or at least that there may be some people who are really going to know the subject matter who play it. And I am confident. I can't say that I've looked at the other reviews or anything like that, but I am confident that there are other people out there who hated the story. I would wager there are other aviation professionals who hated the radio chatter. And when it's... I wish that I could say what I would have changed that would have made it better. So, here we go. The mechanic gal should have been the main character. She should have, just by nature of having worked on all those aircraft and finally getting an F-104 that she scratch built with some old dudes airborne, turns out she's got natural talent at it. I get why people don't want to do female main characters. It's total BS, and that's what they should have done. You got to rename your countries. I don't care if this is a direct sequel to another game. You have confusingly named countries, and I'm still not totally sure who I was fighting for at some points there. And by the end, sure, everybody ended up on the same side once again, against kind of the Belkan, mastermind's plan. But you just can't do that. I recall my Devil May Cry 5. I don't even want to. Let's see here. I was just trying to pull up something else to look at here. My Devil May Cry 5 review, where they had Nico and Nero. The whole game had 4 main characters, and they had Nico and Nero as 2 of the characters. Like, why? Why did, you were in control of what those people's names were, and Nico's name was actually Nicoletta, but she only ever went by Nico. So anyway, here, we'll just watch this. So there's a couple changes that I would have done.
Does the color of the sky...
I've taken off my headphones here, so I'm not hearing what she's saying at this point.
To me, a hell of a lot.
I totally get wanting futuristic stuff and, drones and stuff. Drones are boring enemies. Most of the battles in this, I was just not interested in engaging with the drones. And that includes the final bosses. I don't really care. Oh, they're going to send their, plans to a bunch of factories places. Well, let's go bomb those factories. I don't really care. So let's bomb the factories before they get built. whatever. With the and that brings up the other issue of the near future physics that they were relying on or whatever. Those aircraft weren't flying relying on airflow over their wings or the thrust output from air being sucked into the engines in several places there. I mean, they were just getting launched in different directions. That's not even thrust vectoring. Like the turns that they were doing, they weren't relying on principles of flight. So if they were some sort of magnet something that was getting launched sideways or something, or if it's just we don't understand the principles of flight that they were relying on, like it was supposedly based on a guy, it was supposedly based on some guy in there. And even looking at this cutscene, this gal talks a little bit later about how these pilots must have been pulling 30 G's or more. No, they weren't. Like the human body's bones really just couldn't do that in the types of turns that they were doing. Like even the space shuttle and like space launches on rockets, it's straight line thrust. Like you're undergoing a tremendous amount of G's, and I can't say for complete sure, but I don't think you're anywhere near 30 G's in a space shuttle takeoff. But I could be wrong there, so I'm not definitively saying that. But the point is, they're not turning. If you were experiencing just as a human body without the benefits of evolution, 30 G's in a turn, like your bones would break under the weight of your blood sloshing through your body. And I don't care what your G suit has to say about it. Your innards would become your outards pretty fast, even with your flight suit. You don't have, your rib cage does not go around your intestine. That thing's going to end up on the outside. So whatever. It's a game. It's an arcade game, and I'm trying to square the fact that they went for photorealism and kind of some seeming sim aesthetics, including landing, refueling, and that sort of thing, with the incredible arcadiness of it. And I'm struggling with that. So I don't want to be too negative on this. This game was not for me. I hope the next one's better. I hope they call me. To help them read some of their content or do some of their review for, what it is that they're proposing to say, or just something. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be me. I'm not saying that I really hope they call me. I'm happy to help, but they've got to talk to somebody like me when it comes to this. So, at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am looking forward to moving on to another game. I'm probably gonna do. I'm not sure what'll be up next. As I record this, it is nearly the end of July, and. Yeah, I'm just not sure what'll be up next. So, I appreciate you having stuck around if you made it this far. Of course, check out some of my other commentary playthroughs. This is by far the most negative I have been with the commentary playthrough. I generally only play games that I enjoy, but I knew this one was reasonably quick. So, even after that first episode of knowing that it was kind of a catastrophe, I still went ahead and did it. And that's why I went with such long episodes on these. Just. It's less editing for me, and and maybe I'll go back and try and rewatch some of this, or just listen to it in my free time, trying to figure out who some of the people were. Like the guy named Tabloid. Like, oh, I can't believe that Tabloid sacrificed himself. She'd been referring to him as the anarchist for the whole game. Like, I genuinely did not recognize the name Tabloid when she said it, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention to enough radio chatter. Who knows? But okay, I'm not going to fall back into the negativity here. I appreciate what the developers did here. I appreciate you hanging in very much, and of course, thanks for watching.